Hey friend, welcome to another Rise and Shine Stories. Today is a good one. I mean, all of them are good, but today is a real good one. We are going to be talking with one of my very favorite people that I like to collaborate with. Let me find her and invite her on. She's my favorite purse company of all time. And so she's going to tell us her story. Hello, Brooke. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, Joel, and it's so good to be here. This is so fun.
I know. I was just giving a quick little intro saying that you are one of my very favorite collaborators that I love to work with because your company is just so good. Your purses are amazing, your story is amazing, and I just want more people to hear your story.
Amen. Thank you. Because there's so many women behind the whole brand that I feel like it's just like it deserves more, I feel like light and just like more women to know because I think it's amazing to see how it impacts women as well who carry our bags and just kind of like it's a beautiful bridge and I can't wait to dive in a little
It
bit more in.
is.
I
I love
realize my
it.
life is like really not great.
You're fine, you're good. We can see you.
Okay, well, I'm in Miami and we're having like beautiful tropical storms, and so of course it's like the natural light that we normally have.
That's okay. We can still see you and we can hear you, and that's the most important thing. But for those
Yeah.
who are joining for the first time, this is a whole series that I like to interview women to inspire us, to get us encouraged to shine our light brighter and to rise and shine in this stage of our life. Like get outside your comfort zone, do something good, and you were meant for so much more. So, Brooke, for those who do not know who you are, can you give us just like a brief rundown of your family, where you live, what led you to start Sapahn?
Yes. Um, so originally I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska, and I have two boys, 4 and 9. They're both having birthdays in the next couple weeks. So 4 and 9, and we live in Miami at the moment. We moved here a year and a half ago for my husband's job. I feel pretty blessed and fortunate. Both my husband and I, in 2008, we got married. We're both from Lincoln, and we moved to Thailand to do graduate studies in human rights. So he went on to do his doctorate, and now he's the head of human rights for FIFA for the World Cup in 2026.
Oh,
So that's why,
wow.
yeah. So it's amazing to be like with kind of in this similar like path and passion and profession in some ways. I decided to take a very different approach to human rights. I didn't want to go the academic route. And I didn't really know actually when I was pursuing my master's where it would take me. I started working at the United Nations in Thailand while I was doing my master's. And um, when I at the United Nations, I was working on human trafficking. So very eye-opening experience. I was researching and doing a lot of exposure on essentially like people migrating in search of work. And I kept thinking like, how do you solve this issue? How do you protect people along the way? But one of the things of how do you kind of address some of the issues where people were searching for work. Meanwhile, I was meeting all these incredible women in the markets who are making beautiful accessories and handmade things that I just fell in love with. But they were all coming from, 6, 12 hours away from Bangkok. And I kept thinking, like, this is an incredible, you know, whole opportunity here. So not really sure where that would take me. Kind of the start of Sapahn really happened organically, and it's a little bit of a long story, but this is kind of, I met a girl in Myanmar and Burma. She was helped my husband and I find basically get access to really vulnerable communities to do research. She was bright and so brilliant, but she was also in a whole cycle of poverty. She was taking care of her mom, just, like she was my age, but it was just shocking how our lives were so different. And I asked her, what would change your cycle? How do you get out of this cycle of poverty? How do you get out of this? Because she was so meant for so much more. And I knew if you empowered her, like you were going to change and empower so many women and people.
Yeah.
And she said education. And I was like, well, I could figure out a way to create a scholarship for you. I'm 24 at the time. We were paying for our own education. We weren't getting help from our parents. So we were super young. But I was super driven to like, we could figure this out. And it all started in 2008 or 2000, yeah, 8, 2007 as this idea. So I started working, bought a bunch of stuff from women who were making beautiful things, and then took a whole suitcase or two, a couple suitcases back to Lincoln, Nebraska. We had a trunk show and everything sold. And so
Wow.
here's a chunk of money that I was like, well, great, this will go to her scholarship. A month later, and it was also like, it was amazing. The women who were at our, this event were like, the products were incredible. It wasn't like, there was a lot of quality, also then a lot of story behind, the bracelets, the jewelry, the scarves, all that. So we created a business, and then a month later she moved. She moved to Thailand to study with us. And then 2.5 years later, again, this was kind of just this idea. I started building what I now know as a supply chain. I started going to all these villages, meeting women in their villages where they are, learning about their goals, aspirations, their challenges, like also in addition to like the craft that they were making. Eventually, 2 years in, I started designing everything myself because I realized like really understanding what women wanted in the US.
Mhm.
I don't have a design background, fashion background, nothing. My background is in international studies and a minor in business in high school or in college. So it kind of, again, just started shaping in this way. We celebrated this last year, 15 years of business,
Wow.
um, which is exciting. We lived in Thailand like a whole decade where I got to be one-on-one with our artisan communities, building this whole relationship, and creating products that really were of quality, thoughtful designs, because I really wanted it to be like an investment people wanted, like, we can talk more about that, but yeah, so that's kind of the nutshell. I mean, there's obviously so many nuances in between there and then, but we have a flagship store in Lincoln, Nebraska, and that's where our US team is mostly located.
That's an amazing story. I love that you took like one problem and it just kind of snowballed into this business that you have now. So I have a question though, like the first girl that you created the scholarship for, does she work for you? Like where's she at? Like what's her story right now?
Yes, it's incredible. So after, 2.5 years, she actually graduated with her master's. So when she started the program, she had a bachelor's degree from Burma, but it like was a couple months of study. So she really didn't know how to like, she could speak English, but like writing a whole academic paper in English. I mean, the girl blew me, her name's Mary too, blew me away. She graduated. Her first job was with the United Nations in Myanmar. And then her second is huge. I mean, she was making way more than we were in Thailand, which was like incredible. And then her second job was working in Parliament. And she had an incredible role of really working with the powerful elites and just kind of the working day people, which again, she just had this. So she went on to does incredible things. Her work has changed a little bit now because the military has taken over the country again. So her job looks a little different. But what I love about her, even from this all, she continues to teach her village, like her kids in the village, English, and like as she did when she, from back in the day, she feeds them, she brings them, and she's creating these little inroads for them. And she at one point had a business, so she's creating jobs for them. That's kind of her story is incredibly inspiring, and still
It's
really,
so awesome. Like you
yeah,
you just helped one girl, you helped her break the cycle and it has changed
so many people.
generations. Like that is so amazing. I love that so much. That's
Yes,
so empowering. I love it. Okay. So let's get back to our questions.
yes.
So was there a particular moment during your human rights work that like lit the spark for the Sapahn business? Like I know you said you did kind of like it took a while to get there, but like what like made you think like, okay, this is what we should be doing?
Well, one of the big aha moments was, again, we were in Myanmar and we were doing a lot of like, basically we did a lot of trekking to reach these remote communities, and we stumbled across one, and they had these beautiful orange scarves on their heads. They were just vibrant, and they were also like super soft, and I was like, I couldn't help but like gush over them. And next thing you know, through translation with our translator, they were like, "Would you like to buy some?" And of course, I was like, "Yes. How many do you have? And like, tell me how much I owe you." So they all went back to their like their houses, brought like what they had, a stack of scarves. I put them in my, gave them cash. They wanted, what they wanted for them. And as we were leaving, they were all chatting, just so excited. And my translator was like, "I don't know that like," I was like, "What's going on?" And he's like, they're so excited because from that transaction, they're able to buy a cow now.
Oh, wow.
And so when I looked at, I was like, this is life changing in so many different ways. When, and it's like, how can you do business differently? It's like, it's also that bridge, that connection. And so
Mhm.
it's exactly what we were doing in Thailand. We were going to places that were inaccessible to a lot of people. Um, and creating, they already had some incredible skills and like product that it's been passed down for generations. But how do you then take it to the next level? How do you then
Mhm.
create another opportunity where they can sell globally? And not only that, a lot of the challenges was access to capital and then people also paying fair wages.
Mhm.
So because, you can negotiate to really low dollars because in some ways these individuals, it's like, well, they don't have a lot of negotiating power. So what we sort of do is really bring in human rights and business together. Um, Now at the United Nations, kind of when I started Sapahn, they also were starting basically these agreements and these talks on business and human rights. So now there's a whole kind of like field on this. But when I started, that was just starting as well at the UN.
Yeah.
So really, what we tried to do, going to the source and really asking, well, what is a fair wage for this? What is, and not negotiating beyond that. And that required so much trust on both sides. But that's how we've operated since.
I think there's so much power knowing where your products are made, who makes them, and they are getting paid fairly. I mean, like Amazon, the big box stores, like that those things are so cheaply made. You don't know if those people are being paid fairly, and it's not going to last a long time, but there's so much more power and satisfaction knowing that what you're buying is not just a beautiful product, but something that you're helping. Like you said, you're bridging that gap. Um, I love it. I love that you took that trust and that faith and that courage to make that step.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think it is what was super eye-opening from a US consumer standpoint was like when I made the connection of all of our things that we're really buying, majority of it is coming from developing countries. Whether we know it or not, that there is that kind of like that trickle down. Like so
But they're not getting paid fairly necessarily, right?
exactly. So it is like it once I realized that it was like, well, I think customers just, optimistically like, oh, well, they don't think so much maybe about that. If they do, they're like, oh, of course they wouldn't be. But that's not the case.
Mhm.
Um, Women are working and men 16 plus hours, 7 days a week. They get 1 day off a month. They can't, like taking bathroom breaks. So then there's health issues. I mean, there's all this tied up in this whole supply chain that really as consumers we have power over. We have this ability to choose where we invest our money and who we support as brands, but also to like not realize that really anything you're buying there is a person behind it. And what story
Yes.
does that, because there is a story it tells, and and sometimes I think we would all like slavery is bad, exploitation is bad, but like I mean, if you're, there is that lineage of where if you're shopping in certain ways, like it, it's kind of crazy to be like, I might be contributing to that.
Hmm.
To realize that once I realized that, I was like, I want to do something about this, you know? So I see what we can do through fashion as it's a whole vehicle for beautiful change and really showing you can be a beautiful company and operate and have profitability, but you don't have to do it at the expense of other people.
I love it. I love it. I think we're so ignorant. We just think, oh, it's a great price. I'm going to buy it. You have no idea what went into the whole process of making that thing. And
Yeah.
as I get older, I want to have more of an impact. I want to help more people. I want to invest in quality over quantity. I want to know where my things come from. And so, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I love it. Okay, so what do you think makes Sapahn bag more than just a bag?
I love this question. I think there's so many facets to it. And I'm like looking at it like from our angle, from what consumers, like customers tell us. I think part of it is when customers first experience it, they're like, oh my gosh, they're like, this feels so soft. It feels like butter. And some people say, oh, this is how so and so used to make bags. It's a big brand, starts with
Mm,
the used to make them back in the day. And that, like people smell it. So those first, like firsthand impressions, the other thing that's more than a bag, um, there's so much thought put into like the design of the bag that is functional and timeless because again, it's like we want it to last forever. And so how does it last forever? It's like it is kind of that timeless nature and kind of some of the functional designs. Like this is one of our favorites that goes to the wristlet. And so it's just like how do we meet customers where they are? But I think the bigger thing is, I think if you pull behind a little bit, is the way we do business. It's the craft. I was just in Thailand 2 weeks ago, and it always blows me away. Women that are making these bags, we have like 25 women, literally from pattern. We make the patterns by hand. Like I design the product on paper, and that gets actually put on. It's incredible. Like we don't use tech that most brands will like put it in the tech in the
hmm
machine and it creates this pattern. Everything's done by hand, even the
Wow.
tracing of. So it's the details that go into, and that's what luxury, if you look at any of the luxury brands coming out of Italy, they have that same level of like, there's only a handful of craftsmen that actually do this. So there's that level of care that I think at our price point, this accessible luxury price point is really speaks for itself. You're not paying thousands of dollars for the
hmm
bag. And again, it's as one of the women that I was talking to the other week, I was like, why, what gives you, why do you love this? You've been doing it for 20 years. And she was like, I just love putting like I love like, it's a challenge. I love like knowing that what I'm doing, the quality that I'm putting in that somebody's going to like, I want them to enjoy it. I want them to love it and to know that it's handmade. And it's so I think it loops to all of that. It's actually, there is, humanness at every step of what we do.
I don't believe when you say that you don't, or we're not a stylist, because I mean, like, if you have literally created all, how many bags do you have? I mean, do you know off the top of your head how many styles that you have?
I don't know, probably 40 plus
Yeah.
50.
And you design those. Like, that's amazing. I think that's so cool that like that's not your background, that's not your education, but you still have that talent and that ability to hand create. I have a few purses right next to me. I'll show you in a minute when I ask you what your favorite
Yeah.
bag is. But I probably have personally, oh, I don't know, 15 to 20 of your Sapahn bags because we've been collaborating for so long,
Yeah.
but every one of them is handmade. I know where they have come from. The quality is amazing. It's like you said, you could easily charge thousands of dollars for this because like the quality is so amazing. Like I've had some of these purses for 5, 6 years and they still look brand new. So you get what you pay for. Like it is amazing quality. So I know sometimes we live in a very like we want something quick and fast and we want something cheap. And so a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to pay that much money for, my skincare or that purse or those shoes, but you don't realize like the quality of them. Like, these are literally handmade products that are amazing. And so you have to pay for that. It's quality over quantity for sure.
Well, and then you kind of look back, you're like, wow, how much use did I get out of that? I got,
Yeah. Yes, the
and
cost per wear.
yes, yes. And it's still giving. And then I also say like, it's cheap compared to what, or expensive compared to who? Like
Yeah.
and you can't, I mean, again, when you're looking at leather, I love when customers are like, oh my gosh, is this Italian? And I get to, no, we have a tannery in Thailand as well. And it feels like beautiful Italian
Mhm.
leather. It's nice and soft and it wears really nice. So, um, and it's fun to put like, Thailand on the map for that, competing with, but it's like competing with, I guess, Italy on leather. But it's a worthy investment. I think once you buy one, you're like, oh, I can
Mhm.
tell the difference. I'm not replacing it. And you can tell it's nice. So it
Yes.
does, you know, you can make your whole outfit by a few little accessories, that really
Mhm.
just elevates the whole. And a nice leather bag is one of those things for sure.
Absolutely. I feel like my purse is like what polishes off my look. You can have different colors and styles just to kind of, create a really fun look with your purse. And I love that all your purses are very versatile. Like they cannot just be used in one way. Like you different straps, take the straps off, like the all the different chains and stuff. Like I love how versatile they are.
I know.
How fun that is.
I pulled this one. Yeah, you can add the strap, but I pulled this one because yeah, you can do this as a backpack, or I love this like zipper pocket under here, or you can use it as a trolley. But yeah, there's just so many different ways. And I like again, I tried it. Like I want a bag that does a lot. Like if I'm gonna
Hmm.
invest in something, and you're if you're out for the day, it's like I want to maybe do a backpack, or I like or a crossbody, or I want it to like, can I go out at night? Can I wear it casually? I think that that goes into also when you're looking at making an investment into a bag is that.
Hmm. Absolutely. Okay, so you're raising young kids while running a global business. How has motherhood shaped your leadership?
I think this is beautiful. I had to really think about this. Yes, I had to really think about this because when we got married really young. We've been married 17 years, and we were like, let's wait for 10 years. We're gonna go explore life, and then we'll wait for. And it was about around that time. 9 years later, we had our first, and I think it's I didn't know, could I do both, right? Like it was like, could I do this? I think one, it's just like, I think similarly to travel, I think having kids allows me to be more compassionate to different circumstances. I think it's definitely, um, it's, I've always been pretty flexible. So I don't know that having kids, like that's just, I think elevated that or made that more of a thing within my leadership. So a lot of like in the US, most all of our team are females as well, and different stages of life, some with young kids. And that in itself has just, I think, allowed us to be flexible, and we can, as a small business, to meet women where they are. Um, well, remind me the question again. How did you
So
phrase it?
how has being a mom helped you shape your leadership?
Yeah, I think that's been one of the big things. And yeah,
So being more
it,
compassionate, being more flexible.
yeah. And again, I think I had that with working with our Thai artisans. But it's also as a mom, like you're also juggling a lot.
Hmm.
So not look, it might not look the same like in a different corporate job, which again, I've been able to extend that to our team. And how we work and how we function, which has been, I think it's really met my team with where they are. And I think so many women, like we need that. We need different levels of flexibility at different stages of motherhood.
Hmm. So true. I love that.
Yeah.
So what's one thing you hope that your kids see or learn by you watching you pursue your mission?
Yeah. I think I want them to see like we lit like the life, like Sapahn, maybe some people say like it shouldn't be your identity, but Sapahn is very much like my identity. And the values and the way we do business and the quality, it is not, it's so intentional. And I think it aligns so much with me as a person, like, and also my strengths. And
Hmm.
so I want to show them that like what it means to live life fully. Life is like way too short, and it's something I just get kind of choked up on when I think about the preciousness of life and the decisions you make every day, choosing what you do, choosing how you spend your time. And for me, like I want to see them like know themselves, feel like incredibly challenged but happy in what they are doing, because I feel like once if that is that, they will make an impact, and they will do great things, whatever that looks like for them and them their own selves. And so I think by for me, Sapon isn't just a business. It's like truly a way to leave a legacy. It's truly a way to ignite and connect people and create opportunities. So it's
That's
more than
beautiful.
just, and I want them to kind of feel like, what is that for them? What, and I think by stepping into like knowing themselves first is like the best thing I can do as their mom. And I think as they kind of grow older, they're like, yeah, my mom has a purse business. Why does your mom have all these purses? You know, like they're so young, they're seeing that now. And I think both my husband and I are big on, you know, not taking those short, like the integrity of also what you do means
Mhm.
so, and that's something that's yours to keep. I don't know.
What a beautiful lesson. I mean, you're being a great example of stepping outside of your comfort zone and then also finding your passion and your purpose and living
Mhm.
that fully. Like that's very beautiful.
Yeah.
What more would we want to pass on to our children than that bravery and that courage and that, like you said, integrity? Do you have a favorite bag right now and or like a signature piece that you like to reach for?
Reach for it. Oh, okay, so the one I like to reach that I typically reach for the most is this Lily.
That's a good one.
Um, I just like she's just the right amount of feminine, but like functionality. And I love, you know, it comes the strap is great. I also can throw a chain on it and just really elevates it, or I can hold
Mhm.
it. I this is we just launched another style that like we're sold out. It was great.
Oh,
We
are
sold
you? That's good. That's good
out.
stuff.
There's another new style that we have. It's the Kelly. It's just a great slouch. It's like because it's new and it's also just a recent obsession. But this one I would say is my go-to
That's
right
the
now.
That's the Frida,
This,
right?
this one's the Lily.
Oh, the Lily. Sorry, the Lily.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And then the Frida's like a very cute like shoulder bag. Okay, but what's
Okay.
yours?
Well, so I have three right here because like I said, I have a lot of purses. I think the one that I use the most because it's just such a good size and I have it in several colors is the
I
Ada.
was gonna say
Um,
I
and I
hate
love the silver. Like the silver, I was like probably your happiest customer when you came out with silver hardware and also the silver leather. Like so
it's
good. I'm a silver girl. So I love that one. I love that you can use a different, put a different strap on it. You can take it off and use it kind of as a clutch. It's my
mhm.
perfect everyday bag. So I have that one in
It's a great
probably,
size.
sorry?
It's a great size.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it
Great.
keeps my wallet, my sanitizer, my keys, my phone, the essentials,
Yeah.
glasses. I probably have that in like five colors. I also really
Yeah.
like the Sarah Ann.
Mm,
This one is great to travel with because it can do so many things. It can turn into a belt bag, like you can put the little
love
things
the
like that.
yeah.
It can be a clutch. It can be a crossbody. I love the braided
The
uh,
braided.
chain or the strap on it. It has lots of different pockets in it, so it's great for like my passport and wallet and all. So this is probably my favorite one to travel with, and I have this one in several colors too. Um, the one that I took to Africa with me this year, though, I loved it so much. It was such a cool color and style, and it fits so much stuff. Was the Dominique. So this
Yes.
is like a big belt bag, basically. Crossbody belt bag. It's just so good. It's like it fits so
It's
much
also
stuff in it.
yes, and I love that color on you. Like it's so
That's
like
beautiful.
bright, beautiful. But I love like even wearing it with what the top you have on. I feel like you can totally pull that off in the
Hmm.
winter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this was the only bag that I brought with me to Africa. And you think like, oh, that's a bright color. Like, why would you have chosen that? It was so versatile. Like, it went beautifully with all of my outfits. I was there for 2 weeks and it was my favorite.
Yeah.
It held everything.
Yeah. It's what I find just like what's it's like seeing how it fits on different body types as well. Like
Hmm.
size and I love how like seeing women again with like it's one of those that fits I don't know. It's one that fits a lot of body types and it's
It's a great
beautiful.
bag. And you don't
Yeah.
have to do crossbody. You could also do it like on your shoulder, just like a slouchy purse, like lots of different ways to wear it. I love it. All right. So, what would you say that to a woman who feels called to do something bigger, but she's scared to start?
I think at first of all, I think it's beautiful. And I think like that I know that feeling, right? That like in your stomach. I think it's a sign. I
Mm,
think it's a sign that like you want something more. And I think that's like listening to that sign. I think it's also giving yourself permission to explore it. Because it doesn't exist for no reason, right? And I think when we listen as women, listen to that intuition more and explore those things more, I think more doors start opening up. Um, I think that I think one of the things that I always do when I'm kind of at that stage of like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I don't know. And maybe that sounds really, um, that some people can relate to. It's like, what do I do next? I think it's all done in community. So find other people
Ooh, that's good.
who have maybe done something similar, or who, you know, any different, like, you know, lines of connection, because people have been there, done that in some capacity. There's so much to learn along the journey. What I think is a missed opportunity is like holding it all in and keeping it. But when you put it out there, like, you breathe more air, you breathe more energy and like inspiration into that. And it might go like this, right? It's gonna be like, oh, I didn't know where this was gonna take me. I didn't set out to start this fashion brand. I set out to make an impact, and it was like, here's the opportunity, was like, here it is. You were wanting to do something meaningful. Here's an opportunity. But you don't have to know all the answers. It's just, again, finding resources, being willing to put it out there, willing to talk to people. I think also, like you had mentioned, I loved hearing your story, and you talked about podcasts, like jumping into different podcasts. I love, because you're not alone. I think even in business, it's like, that's the biggest powerful thing, is like, I can call up tons of other people now, and who are in business, who are like, oh, I've been there. Like, I totally know what you're going through. Like, you think it's this, everything's burning to the ground, but like, you'll be fine. And it's like, knowing that there's just some, like, you're not alone. So like, giving yourself some like freedom to like live it out, tell people about it. And maybe even write down, like, what's the next step? Like, write down the fears, write down the excitement, and then what's the next step that you can do?
Such
I
great
don't,
advice.
I'm like all like, if
No, it's
anyone's
great.
on this, like, DM me, because like, I'm all about like pushing, like, go. And what's the worst that can happen?
Right?
Life is to be lived. And like, this is like, it's not a failure at any point. Like, if it doesn't work, it's okay. Like, look at what all you've gained and learned. Comes back to like this humanism connection. It connects us all. We, by trying something, we have more compassion, and, you know, like, there is this level of connection that you're like, oh, I know exactly what you're going through.
Yes, I love that. That's such great advice. I feel like as women, we're really hard on ourselves. We want
Yeah.
to like start here and we want to end here, and we want it to be a straight, perfect line. And we don't want to do it until we have all the answers, but we get the answers as we take one step forward. It's like in Frozen, you just take the next right step. You just keep moving forward. And if it ends up being a failure, it's not a failure because you learned some stuff in the process. So you never know until you try. You just keep moving. So I
Yeah.
love that.
And I mean, if you would have stopped with your skincare, like, think about it. Like, if I would have stopped 5 years ago, I mean, at some, like, there's challenges along the way, and it's like, it's again, it's like, maybe that's just the next way, that like my next thing to elevate. Like, this is a challenge. Oh, well, there's always, like, it seems like there's not been a very closed door where it's like, this is definitive, not, you know, and that sometimes happens. But I
Yeah.
think it's like, you're still at that light. You still have to, encouraging people to, yeah, to pursue it.
I love it. All right, last question before we sign off today. What does rise and shine mean to you in this season of your life?
I think you just said it, and I had written it down. It is to literally wake up and do, like, what's the best thing I can do today? Like, do my best that day. Life feels very full, and I don't, like, more so than normal, whatever normal would be. Like, at the beginning of the year, my husband had a spinal cord injury, and was at home in a wheelchair, and we like didn't know, would he be like, would he get the nerves back to walk again? And it was very of course, very sudden, life changing. We're in Miami with no family. And so it was like, wow, this is a lot. I think we've taken a step back and be like, all right, it's really helped us prioritize and like see some things clearer of what is important to us. And even then, like, running the business, now we have tariffs and just some other really stressing challenges. And I guess what I keep coming back to is like, what can I do today? Like, what's the best thing I can do today? And what does that look like? And of course, making those lists, and like, even checking in with myself in the morning, saying like, what's like the pros, or like the good and the bad, like, just kind of getting a sense of like where I'm at. Also, like, putting it on paper, like, helps me see kind of different pathways forward. But that's kind of my rise and shine right now. It's like, do the next best thing in your day to day. And that's kind of it gets giving me perspective so I don't get overwhelmed by things.
That's great advice. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to end with? Any advice before we end our call today?
No advice, just more of like, thank you for creating this space. And for all the women out there who are listening, um, I just like what you're doing is amazing. And if you ever need a friend or ever need like an ear going, oh my gosh, I'm going to jump and try this. What do you think? My DMs are always open. I love this kind of space, and meeting with other women who are willing to try and wanting to do something more. It might not look like Sapahn. It could be anything. I think finding your community and tribe, it could be like a stranger online, like myself. But first and foremost, like also thank you, John, for like creating again this space and opportunity. I love this, and I can think of so many other women that I can't wait for, like to be on your show. So
Yeah, well, we rise by lifting each other up. So it's like we need to hear each other's stories because it helps encourage us, it helps inspire us, and it helps us get outside of our comfort zone because life is not meant to just survive. We're meant to thrive. So I hope today's conversation was helpful for someone listening. I hope it gave you inspiration, motivation, empowerment, to live life to the fullest. Thank you so much, Brooke, for taking the time to chat with us today. Talk to you later.
thank
Bye.
you. Bye, Joanne. See you.